Right, so today we're starting Perek Yud Gimel Tanya. Very exciting. Baruch Hashem. What's exciting about Perek Yud Gimel?
It's where the pedal hits the metal.
Well, we're going to answer some of the questions that the Alter Rebbe brought up on the first page of Tanya. Finally.
That's true too.
Perek Yud Gimel. Uvazeh, now that we discussed, now that the Alter Rebbe explained the life of the Beinani, so now we will understand Lashon Maimer Azal. Beinanin Zev V'zeh Sheiftan. The Alter Rebbe brought in the first page of Tanya where the Gemara says that by a Beinani, Zev V'zeh, the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, Sheiftan. So, Pirush Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara, they are judges. Meaning, before we learn Tanya, so we said, well, the way the Rambam uses the phrase Beinani, a person is 50-50. So, okay, Yetzer Tov Sheiftan, Yetzer Hara Sheiftan. Sometimes the Yetzer Tov has something to say, sometimes the Yetzer Hara. But now that Alter Rebbe explained that for a Beinani,
half the time I'm doing an Avera, half the time I'm doing a mitzvah. I'm half and half, man. I'm cool.
So now that Alter Rebbe explained that a Beinani, like over Avera miyomo, like Yavod Oilom, he never did an Avera. So now the question is, what's the meaning of Zev V'zeh Sheiftan? So Alter Rebbe says, it says in the Apostle, B'tziv, Hashem stands at the right hand of the poor man, to save him from those who judge him. What do we see? Shoiftei nafshay.
Keep the door open. It's nice outside.
What do we say? What's the meaning of Shoiftei nafshay? There's nafshay, there's one person, and within him there are multiple judges. There are Shoiftei nafshay. The pasuk doesn't say Zev V'zeh Moishlim Chas V'Shalom. It doesn't say that both of them are rulers. The Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, they don't rule, meaning they don't govern. They're just giving their opinion. They're an opinion on the court.
Wait.
But
So it's a Zev V'zeh Sheiftan?
Sheiftan, yeah, judge.
They're judging. That means they're just giving their judgment.
They're giving an opinion.
Which means not Shailet.
Right. It's not Moishlim Chas V'Shalom. Going back to what he said previously. If the Yetzer Hara becomes a ruler, then Nikra Rasha V'Yisrael. Hello. A Yetzer Hara, what is it for a Beinani? The Yetzer Hara Eini Rak Al Derech Moshel. The Yetzer Hara is like a Sheifet, V'Dayan, like a judge sitting on a panel. Ha'emer Daite B'Mishpat, he gives his opinion, but V'Afal Pikein, nevertheless, Yochalias, Sh'layeh Psak Halacha Kach L'Maisa, that's not going to be the final verdict. Mipnei, Sheyesh Oid Sheifet V'Dayan, Ha'chelek Olav. There's another judge who argues. V'tzarech lahachriya beineim. You have to. What is machriya? How do we say machriya in English?
Come to
To be machriya.
To come to a agreement. To come to no.
You have to lean. You have to tilt
to
a certain direction.
Okay.
You have to
right.
We have to
conclude.
Like one side has to overpower. So I just want to say for a moment.
Not agree.
What does it mean? A Rasha also has a Yetzer Tov. So why does the Gemara say that by a Rasha, Yetzer Hara Sheiftan? Why is it only Yetzer Hara Sheiftan? So the answer is because the Yetzer Tov is so weak that when he gives his opinion, it's a weak opinion. Right? It's like a pacifist.
I think maybe we should.
It's more like when the Yetzer Hara has that over
right.
Whatever over the person, then he is a Rasha. It's not a Rasha It's really the other way around.
No, the way the Alter Rebbe explains it is that when a person does even one Aveira, when a person chooses to do even one Aveira, he becomes a Rasha.
Right.
So but his Yetzer Tov also speaks up. Yeah, it speaks up, but he's too weak. He's not.
The fact that he did the Avera, now he's in the category of Russia, meaning now that the Yetzer Hara is on top.
So that's why he doesn't refer to him as a shayfet, because it's a whisper. It's not a statement. It's like when I speak to a child in school, and let's say it's a serious matter, I say, as the principal, the things that I say are not a suggestion, because they may be accustomed to people giving them suggestions. Maybe it's a nice idea. When the Yetzer Tov speaks for the Rasha, it comes across like a suggestion. It doesn't come across like, no, actually, I want to take a stand here. I'm going to be assertive. The Yetzer Tov is no longer assertive. The Yetzer Hara is assertive. So the Yetzer Hara is not even, the Yetzer Tov is not even a shayfet.
But it begs the
question
that the reality is, it says when this one shafted this one,
he's going to get to that. He's going to talk about that soon.
It becomes a little problematic if you're not going, even though it's less or more. If it's not,
Kishazeh comes in Neifel, the Alter Rebbe speaks about the essence of the Yetzer Hara, not about the expression.
Okay, so
let's see. We'll
right. Okay, so it's not because it's only the expression. So at face value, meaning you still have the ability to.
Yeah. We're very fresh here because this is the Chitas this week. The last 2 days. So let's take a look. So Kach v'halacha kedivrei hamachriya. There's a third judge. He has the winning vote. Do we say dissenting? What is dissenting?
No, that's
the other.
The other, right.
Right. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The winning vote. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. None of us know any of this stuff anyway. And if we did, we're pretending we're done.
Hayetzer Hara Eimer Daitei V'Cholal Asmoli Shebelev. The Yetzer Hara raises his opinion. Umei Halev Eile Lameach Laharbay. It pops up to the mind, comes into the mind. Umiyad, the moment. The fellow's got a bill. I'm sorry. Umiyad, the moment it enters the mind, Chelik Olav HaShefet HaSheni, the next Shefet comes up, Shehu HaNefesh HaLikis Shebelev, HaMespashet B'chol Laimoni Shebelev, Mokum Mishkan HaYetzer Tov. This is also very significant. Why does the Alter Rebbe say here, it's not Perektes? Why is he telling us again, oh, by the way, the Yetzer Tov, he's also Mispashet B'chol Laimoni Shebelev. Why is he telling us that here? Because what he's trying to say is that when the person is navigating a life choice, it's not, for the Yetzer Tov, it's not only intellectual. It's not just, should I do it, should I not do it, is it good for me, good for Hashem, is it good for me long term, short term, right? It's immediately delayed. It also, there's motivation, there's inspiration to do the right thing. It's not just intellectual. Don't clap so much by the microphone. Who's the third opinion? Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem helps us out. He helps us tilt the judgment. Imagine. If not for Hashem's help, he would not be able to succeed. He wouldn't be able to win the Yetzer Hara.
Again, you have a conception that they're not equal to the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov.
Also, I'm going to explain. Here, we're talking about a Yid who's a Baal Esek. He's a Benoni that goes out in the world. He sees taivas. He's exposed. He does his work honestly, with integrity. He doesn't steal, right? He does all the right things. But because he's exposed to the world, there's temptation. Not only that, when it's in his heart, it also comes up to his mind. When it comes up to his mind, now the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara are on an equal playing field. They're both in the mind. So when you have a Beinoni who davens passionately and he serves Hashem for many hours and he has fiery avos Hashem, so he has a much greater advantage. Let me say it differently. When there's a Beinoni who learns Torah all day, so his mind is not available to think about Taivas. But when you have a Beinoni who's not learning all day, his mind is open. Once it's in the mind, you need Hashem. Without Hashem, you can't learn. So it's in a certain setup that.
If you go to court, you know what judge will decide.
I'm sorry. Can I trouble you to pass the thing, the remote? Is it there? Because I don't know, it's feeling a little cold. Thank you so much. Let's make it 90 degrees. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Now, the Ezeri, what's the help? He ha'ara shemeir er Hashem al nefesh elikis, that Hashem gave the nefesh elikis an advantage. Liyisla, like we discussed last week, that it has a yisrain ushlita al sichlus haksil v'yetzahara ki yisrain ha'er min ha'cheshach kanal. What's the advantage? What he said before, first of all, that the seichel blows away the silliness, and it's bederach memela. Naturally, it dissipates. Okay? Now that we understand that the Beinoni in Levushin, he's perfect. So now the Alter Rebbe develops. So why is he a Beinoni? Why? He does everything right. The Eibishter helps him. Being that in the Chalal Asmoli, in its place, in its birthplace, the Ra is betokfei ketel dosek. It's as intense as it was when it was born. Le'savis taiva l'chol tanugi elamazeh. V'loy nizbatel b'miut l'gabe atoiv. It wasn't diminished. There's no bittul. No part of it was reduced. The Alter Rebbe is going to use the lashon. It was nitcha mim koimah. He said, please, stand in the corner. Yeah? But it's still the same nefesh habamis. It wasn't bottled. V'loy nitcha mim koimah klal. It wasn't really pushed away. The essence, the mehus of the Yetzer Hara remained. Rak, the only thing is, it can't express itself. It's not. We don't leave it room to be heard. And why is it that it doesn't have a shlita? It's the Eibusher ha'imidli min evin ve'ezer meir lenefesh alikis. So lachein, therefore nikra karasha. I just want to say that at this point in Tanya, the Alter Rebbe is going to tell us 3 levels of Beinoni. A Baal Esek, a Beinoni a Yoshev Oyel, and a Beinoni who davens all day. A very high level Beinoni. This word, now that the Alter Rebbe comes to answer the first page of Tanya, it makes the most sense with the Beinoni who's a Baal Esek, with the first level. The Alter Rebbe is going to say, now we understand why the Gemara says, the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Heyeh be'einecha karasha. Right? You should see yourself as a rasha. Which Beinoni is it talking to the most? The Baal Esek. Your Yetzer Hara is in full power. Right? The Gemara. Heyeh be'einecha karasha. The loy rasha mamish. It's kir rasha, like a rasha, not actually a rasha. Elo sheyat yachzik atzmei lebeinoni. In other words, you have to be in perfect form. You have to be so alert not to fall, to realize that inside of you have a monster. that you have a Yetzer Hara inside of you that's in full force. And like the Alter Rebbe is going to say in a few lines, actually the Yetzer Hara is even getting stronger. B'meshech hazman, because you're exercising him. You're using him when you're not doing Averis with him, but anything that's pleasurable, you're eating in order to live, but it's Geshmak. So you're strengthening the Yetzer Hara. So don't believe the world that tells you, they tell you, they're telling you that in a certain way, your Yetzer Hara is no longer the same, it's weaker. Shazu madregas tzaddik. At tzaddik, the Yetzer Hara is weaker. Don't believe them. He should see himself. The fire and the passion that he has is ke'ilu mehusay v'atzmusay shalara, the essence of the ra, not the expression. The core, hu betokfei ubidvorasay v'chol asmoli ketoldasay v'loi cholach v'holach mimenu me'uma. It did not pass through and move on. Ve'adaram nischazek yoser. It became fortified. V'hemshech hazman shenishtamish beharbe achila ushsia usharan yoni elam hazeh. Every time you sleep, we don't have stones under our beds. Yeah.
But it's fiction when Yosef became trained also?
What do you mean?
So much, many years practice.
Yeah, it's also getting stronger. 100%. And he's going to really, because the idea that Alter Rebbe is going to bring about having the ability at your fingertips to awaken Avas Hashem. No, not to push it. To access Avas Hashem. That's also a muscle of the Nefesh Elikis. Okay, so it's getting stronger. You sleep, you have a comfortable pillow. It's not Teshuvah. You can sleep with 2 pillows and a nice down blanket. So the Nefesh Abamis is getting comfortable. It's getting stronger. Now the Alter Rebbe goes to the next level of Beinin. The Afni. And the reason why, in other words, one of the agendas. So we answered a question on the first page of Tanya. The Alter Rebbe said, what do you mean? If he's going to see himself Kerasha, Yeir Alavalo, he's going to be depressed. And he won't be able to serve Hashem with Simcha. Says the Alter Rebbe, no. It's Kerasha, not Rasha. So you're not, in other words, realize that as successful as you are, inside of you, you have a mahus va'atzmus of a nefesh abamis. You have to be careful. Now the Alter Rebbe is going to come and answer the next level. He's going to come and answer the next question about the Rabbah. How was Rabbah able to make such a grievous mistake to say that he's a Beinoni? So the Alter Rebbe says, let's see what happened. Afni shebeteiros Hashem cheftzeh. You have a person whose inner desire is to learn Torah. I want to highlight. The Rambam explains a simple thing. You can't force someone to love Torah. Right? You could expose them to it, you could incentivize them, and then they'll come to get a Geshmak.
If they had that Geshmak,
it will. He says, well, Avram Avinu, he reached. When a person, when a person really gets into a field, then you start talking to them, right? They start salivating. They're so excited about it, You meet a guy who collects guitars. You start talking about his collection.
Some kind of guitar, he's going to go crazy.
He wasn't born with it. You get into it.
You hit him, yeah.
So you have someone. B'teiros Hashem cheftzeh. He developed an avas Torah. They are Yidden, they push it. And they learn Torah not because they want to know the halacha or because they're going to show off. They push it, love Torah. That's their pnimius harotzen. It's not that they have to write a sefer and they love learning. And the yegava yemon v'layla lishma. He learns Torah day and night lishma l'shema Torah, just to learn Torah for no other thing. And so remember, this guy, his brain is busy. The Alter Rebbe, a few times in time with Alter Rebbe in different ways, even though we have two nefashos, and so simultaneously there could be different things going on, we have one brain. You can't think two thoughts at the same time. If you're really learning Torah, so there's no room, your nefesh habamis can't be oila lamoyach. The Alter Rebbe says your mind is completely occupied with Torah. Ein zu heichacha klal. That's not proof. Shenitcha ramim pen. It doesn't mean your nefesh habamis is gone. It means that you love what you're doing. But if in the case that you would stop learning, the nefesh habamis is still there in full force. Elayachaliyas. Again, we're talking about Mehusei V'atzmusei, the core, the essence, the negative character traits, the jealousy, the ego, whatever a person wants to lie, whatever bad traits the person has, deep in him, he has them. They're all there. He stopped talking, so he doesn't lie. He's only learning Torah. Rak shalavushav, the expression of the nefesh habamis. Shem achshav v'dibur ma'aser shel nefesh habamis einon mislapshim b'moyach v'hapeh v'hayodayim u'shari vari aguf. It doesn't have a chance to be active. Again, why? Nipnei Hashem. But here the Alter Rebbe says something different. Every nuance. Before he said that the Eibush there is Oizer Umeir. He gives the advantage of Yisur Na'er Min HaCheshach. Now the Alter Rebbe says, Mayach Shalet Al Alev. He didn't say that before. Nipnei Hashem, Shenosan Shlita Umemshola L'Mayach Al Alev. Why here? Because here the Mayach is still pure. So when the Mayach is pure, you have the natural advantage that the mind stays focused. And the heart never has a chance to express itself. Right? Like someone who walks around, he doesn't get in the spall. He's cold. V'lachem. Being that the nefesh, that there's shlitas hamayach halalev, nefesh alikis shebemayach. In this guy's case, the nefesh alikis completely occupies the brain. So therefore, Meshela is birktane evi aguf kulam. Sheyu levush umer kava l'shleisha levusha, to actively at every moment to be thinking Torah and speaking Torah and doing mitzvahs. Sheyislav shubahem. Shey machshava dibur ma'aser shotayag mitzvahs haTorah. That's what he does all day. Before he goes to sleep, he's thinking Tanya. But still, avo mehusa v'atzmusa shel nefesh olikis ein lo shlita umemshala. It doesn't have access to control. It's not. He doesn't have the ability to control mehusa v'atzmusa shel nefesh habamis b'beinu. He can't. There's one exception though. Ki'im, there's an exception. B'shah she'avas Hashem hu b'yizgavos liba. When, in other words, just like the brain can't think two thoughts at the same time, our heart's love has to be in one place. That's the Chavis Halavavis, that's always brought in Chassidus, that the love for Hashem and the world can't be in the heart at the same time. Lo yishkenu at the same time. So B'shas, he's davening, and his heart is completely open to Avos Hashem. At that time, the Olam Hazeh means nothing to him. It doesn't. Just like when a person is fighting for his life, he doesn't say, "Oh wait, I have to make sure my clothes are nice." Right? It's like when a person is not feeling well, and they throw up on their clothes. They don't, right? They're bent out of shape.
They don't know if they're going to live or die. They don't care about their clothes.
They don't care. So when a person has true Avos Hashem, the Narishkeit of the world has no meaning to them. And that happens for this Beinani during davening. And at that time of davening, when he has such a level of Avos Hashem, which is Avos Hashem, it has to be fiery. It's Karish Be'esh. In other words, just like Lahavdil and Olam Hazeh, When a person is in love, a certain kind of love, he doesn't eat and he doesn't, right? Face, whatever, you know. We're not going into it if teenagers have it, or they don't. It's a crush or not a crush, whatever it is. In other words, there's a state of desire or whatever it is that everything in the world, they don't care. They're going to give up their whole life. They're going to travel to the other end of the world just to be with the other person, whatever it is. Amen. So, Ki'im, V'shah she'avas Hashem hu be'izgalus libay. That avas Hashem is revealed. V'yitim mezumonim, in those set times. K'mei b'shas atfila, v'kayetzeba. In other words, he was mizbayna. V'av kam zeis hapam, even then, by the davening, eino, rak shlita umamshala levad. It's control. But you didn't abolish. Kidiksiv v'la'im v'la'im yamatz, kishazeh kam zeh neifel, or kishazeh kam chulu. The Alter Rebbe, it's like every nuance. What does the Alter Rebbe bring the pasuk to prove? That after neifel, there's a possibility for kam once again. That's why he stops here. Kishazeh kam zeh neifel, he doesn't have to bring the other hemshah. Yeah. You see, even after the nefesh habamis was neifel, he could become again, he could rise again. Yeah. That's enough. What happens during davening? So I want to shenefesh olikis. So I want to just introduce for a minute just this point. It's a little bit delicate, but it's, you know, it's kedai to get into for a second. You know, in the world, we speak about different kind of business people. There's entrepreneurs, and then there's people that are more, I don't know, a technician or an engineer, right? In other words, you have people that have big ideas. Then you have people, they're not, their mind is not so open that their brains are going to fall out. They need a more rigid system, a corporation, structure. Chachma is this open space of inspiration. It's a little more chaos. Bina is a place of rigidity. If a person doesn't take opinions personally, right? If you meet a person, yeah, there's an argument, and he doesn't get passionate about it, he's not in the Bina space. Bina is a place of conviction that causes passion. I have to fight for my cause. So Bina, okay, so I think this is a better example. The fixed mindset and the open mind is a better example for this concept to understand. Bina is the shayrish of Gevura.
Yeah.
Bina is subjectivity. That's where it's me. In Chachma, I'm a student, I'm learning, I'm being creative, I'm open to ideas. In Bina, no, I have a vision. Okay.
You can't change.
It's digesting, it's processing.
It's very fixed, more fixed.
And it's relevant, specific to each individual. It's not.
Right, but in other words, coming back, how are we going to apply it to what Alter Rebbe is saying over here? That for the Beinani, while he's davening, his feeling about Elikus is intense. It's azeyu nicht anders.
It's his.
It's coming from a place of Bina. It's fiery, it's passion. It's not, oh, it's so beautiful. There's conviction. There's commitment.
Is coming from Bina, you're saying?
Yeah, his Beinanus in Bina is what leads to a fiery yearning for Hashem. And that's what abolishes the Yetzer Hara. That's what puts aside. Let's read it inside, this Nekuda. He says like this. Shenefesh alikis. When is the la'im ya'amatz? When does the nefesh alikis overpower the nefesh habamis? The nefesh alikis is misametzes umizgaberes. It puts in effort intensely, and it overpowers the nefesh habamis. Where the makar gvuras, in the source of gvura. What's the source of gvura? Bina. Bina, that fixed, Azeyo nicht anders, that intensity, this is me, don't get in the way.
There's a third component. You said before that the Yetzer Hara has an advantage over the Yetzer Tov. So when you have the davening and they're both there on their own in the state of, like you said, the fresh out of the in the box type of thing, then Taka, the Yetzer Hara has an advantage. But in davening, when you have that third element, that's the Gvura. So now that potion together with the Yetzer Tov gives the ability, is able to overcome. It's already now. There's a third element of.
So let's see how that.
So Bina Yisrael is still Leisha. That offsets the verse of the gather, of the, so to speak.
Oh, so by Isha there's all that Indian. In other words, that personal interest that leads to an intensity. In other words, taking care of the kids, or things have to be a certain way, or taken care of. It's intense. It's not a mabekach. It must be like that. What do you mean? Lizbainin, so the makar akvuris, which is bina, meaning lizbainin b'gdulas Hashem ein sof baruch hu ulahaylid ava azal Hashem kerish beish, that the ava to Hashem is fierce, like fire. B'chol vayimoni shebelibed. So then, when the avos Hashem is so intense, va'oz iskafia siter achresh b'chol lasmali. The klipa is subjugated. It's silenced.
Only through Bina.
By davening. Only when the ava is so revealed. That was the example that I'm giving. When a person is not feeling well, he doesn't care if his clothes are dirty. He's throwing up. He can't. Right? In other words, he's thinking now about the Eibishter with such intensity, there's no taivus. Only by a tzaddik is the real bittul. The Nefesh Habamis was compromised. Certain things, there's mias. Things that he used to enjoy, he doesn't enjoy, they don't talk to him anymore. It's not, it has no interest. By the tzaddik it says, "V'libi cholol b'kirbi," that there's emptiness. Again, emptiness. There's levels in the tzaddik. He killed it. First is slain, right? Cholol. Then is empty, and then the highest level tzaddik gomor is. We have more Tanyas, by the way.
Sure. Knows it by heart.
Yeah.
The other half.
The other hand.
Yeah. Who mayis bera, the tzaddik is mayis bera, the soime betachlis asina, ve'anius. It's disgusting to him. Oh, yishalei betachlis asina kana, or it's less tzaddik veralo. There's a little, but a little meshicha. It's not completely mufrach. We discuss. Avo b'beinini, derech Moshe, by a beinini of this level, it's called him sheyoshem. Like someone that's asleep, again, during davening. So he could wake up. Obviously, while he's asleep, he doesn't see, he doesn't hear, he doesn't taste. His chushim are closed to Eilam Hazeh. While he's asleep. Yeah, people would say that Nissen would daven. It would be freezing cold. He was dripping sweat. His face was red. My father told me once he was sick. He was mamish. He had fever. They measured it. Right? It came davening. Like a lion, he got up. There's nothing to talk about. Someone just told me a story about Reb David Aradokar. He was sick, mamish. Whatever it was. Anyway, then at a certain point he said, he didn't daven, he was I don't know what, Anyway, at some point he said, what time is it? It's mantfila, when is it, whatever, right? And then he was like, mit alle koiches, like Allah. He got up and he forced himself.
Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible is Gabrus. But v'achar kach, after davening, yochel liyas chayzer v'neir. It could awaken again. V'lachein, now we'll understand that hoya rabba machzik atzmike beinini. After late pasuk pomim megirsa, he was learning Torah all day. V'teiras Hashem, now the Alter Rebbe is speaking about the third level of beinini. V'teiras Hashem chefza yema v'layla. He was learning Torah, he wasn't davening all day. V'chafetza, v'chasheka, u'tshuka, v'nefesh shekeika l'Hashem. With an inner will, with a desire, with a yearning, with thirst. Be'ava Rabba, incredible avas Hashem. And kibishas krishma tefillah, like the beinini has, while he's davening. V'nidme be'inov. He thought that he's like a beinini am mispalel kol hayom. K'mayim be'razal, halavai sheyispalel adam kol hayom kulei. So I just want to explain, what was the Gemara's intention when the Gemara said halavai sheyispalel adam kol hayom kulei? The Gemara says you daven, you have a chiyuv to daven shacharis, but you know halavai, you could daven Shemay Esrei again. The Torah is nedova. You know the Alter Rebbe speaks about it in Shulchan Aruch many times. If you'll be moisev something, you could daven more. You could daven a whole day. Yeah, you could daven tefillas nedova a whole day. That's the nigla meaning of halavai sheyispalel adam kol hayom kulei. The Alter Rebbe says the chassidische halavai. What is davening? Davening is that your avos Hashem is revealed. Halavai, that a whole day you should be in that state.
So you don't need to be davening necessarily.
Right, you could be learning Torah with that kind of avos Hashem. Even though when you're learning Torah, your mind has to be occupied with what you're learning. In davening, your hisbeinimus is Hashem. But in learning, you're thinking about the Tosfos. So,
but if you're learning it from the sense of Torah,
yeah, but still, so that, in other words, that was Rabba's. You know, that's the meaning. Yishpalel kol hayom kulei, that he has avos Hashem in his learning. So those are the levels of beinini. V'hine. So I want to make a little hakdama over here a second. So, you know, so we learned that Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov is called as he's the emes guy. Right? Yaakov is emes. Midas emes is midas shel Yaakov. Avram is chesed, Yitzchak is gevura, Yaakov is emes. The question is, well, Avram was an emes. Yitzchak was an emes. What does it mean? So, on a basic level, it's emes means consistency. Avram had a child who went off the path, so he wasn't fully consistent. There was something wrong in the system. It wasn't 100%. He didn't reach everywhere. Yaakov, he reached everywhere. So what does it mean to reach everywhere? The Alter Rebbe says an interesting thing. He says in the Mishkan, the Kroshim had brichim. They had these like axes to hold a bar to hold together the Kroshim. So there were 5 bars on the middle bar. There were 3 walls of the Mishkan. There was 1 bar that went through all the way from the beginning till the end. What's emes? Emes means it goes through from the beginning till the end. It's a little philosophical. What does it mean to go from the beginning till the end? What does it mean? In other words, on one hand, emes is very exclusionary. Right? Is it true or not?
Just relative truth?
No, we're trying to say that there's absolute truth. So, what do you mean? Absolute truth is like when you say, how many people are true? Are really they meinem mit anemes? How many people? Oh, suddenly we're just down to 2 people. Right? We come down to a point to 0.1%. So wait a second. Emes is very exclusionary. Not who's emes? A few people are emes.
You got Trump.
Oh, but on the other hand, you say, wait a second. What's emes? Emes means Mavriach mina kotze ala kotze. He's in every keresh. That's emes. Yaakov found every kid. So Alter Rebbe says like this. Emes means every single thing in the world. It says that he brings a chazal that And the Ha'ara Santanya brings a Chazal, every single thing in the world is 9% fluff and 1% core. In other words, 9% is non-essential, 1% is essential.
Everything.
Okay? So in other words, we have an 80-20 rule, right, in the world. But so this idea, a 90-10. What's 90? In other words, in the car. In your car, 90% of the stuff, 10% is the core. That's what you really need, right? In the person, who are you? 90% is gehakt and scheinig. There's 10%, that's really you.
So like with weight loss, 80% is diet, how you eat, 100% is exercise. 90%
Okay. So what the Alter Rebbe is saying is like this. Emes, what is emes? Emes is the core of everything. In other words, there is emes everywhere. There's no such thing to say, oh, you're emes and he's not emes. What do you mean? Everything has its emes. We have to find it. Some people are lost from their truth. But everything has a truth. Everything has a core. We have to find the core. What's midas emes of Yaakov? Mavriach min hakotze al hakotze. Yaakov succeeds to find the core of everything. So the Alter Rebbe says like this: Tzaddikim, their emes of Avodas Hashem, they have a fantastic truth. Beinani, if you're going to compare a Beinani to a tzaddik, a Beinani is nothing. A Beinani is one big bluff. Tzaddikim, they're always loving Hashem. They're full of Ahavas Hashem every second. A Beinani, it's only when he davens and when he walks out. He's back in the. He has this, he wants the world again.
Fighting for it.
Says not Rebbe, yeah, but for the Beinani, there's another aspect here. Anything that you have to generate is not real. The tzaddik, he doesn't have to generate Ahavas Hashem. Ahavas Hashem is his core. The Beinani, he has to learn and this and that. He's imposing it. That's not who he really is.
It's interesting how it's sort of judged by the children. So Abraham's children, Yitzchak's children, Yaakov's children.
It's a symbol, right? It's
No, but one second, it's not necessarily that he has to fight. He has to work on the Abba. It's by Beinani, it's more he's keeping away. He's keeping away the negative. The Abba's there. He's not.
Maybe he has to work on bringing it out.
Yeah, the Alter Rebbe is speaking specifically about the Ava.
Right, but the
Not
Abba,
about.
when he's
Not about, are you a real Beinani? Are you doing mitzvahs or are you doing averos?
When he's sleeping, he doesn't go averos, but
you're-
doesn't come.
No, your Ahavas Hashem, is it real or it's not real?
No, but he's not when he's davening. He's the Avos emes, and because of that, he's not the Yetzer Hara is not coming.
Let's
Once
see.
he gets on the highway,
If
it's
it
not.
goes
He's
away,
not
it's
generating.
not-
It's not. But it's
If you
meaning-
like something now and later it goes away, so it's not real.
No, but it's not. It's not going away. That's the thing. It's getting covered over. It's the negative covering over the getting in the way of the
Let's see.
Beinani
No, he
being.
says Chelefes Ve'Veres. Let's see. Okay, let's try to stay true. I have no more biurim until that. Okay, that was the main nekudah. V'hine mi das ava zu ha'amura b'beinin b'shas atfilah. This ava that the Beinani has during davening. How does he get it? Aidei is gabrus hanefesh v'likischu. That he has intensity and bina. Hine lagabe madregas hatzadikim. If the havaya be'emes la'amitoi, true emes la'amitoi, absolute truth. Ein bechinas avazu nekras b'shem avodas emes klal. It's not avodas emes. It's not a real service of Hashem. Remember, ava is less pulchen et pulchen der chimusa. Ava is avoda, serving Hashem. So this is not real. Why? Me achar shechei lefes ve'veres achar afilo. It goes away. Uksiv. The pasuk says, "Sfas emes tikin la'ad." A true language lasts forever. V'adar giyah, if it has a pause, if it's not l'shain shaker, it's a false language. Says the Alter Rebbe, v'af al pikein, nevertheless, there's one more chitas. Legabe madregas habeininim, nikras aveda tama be'emes lamite shelahem. For the beinini, legabe the beinini, it's a real. Legabe the beinini, it's real. Ish kefi madregase, every beinini according to his core.
That's relative.
Yes, every beinini according to his pnimius. Kefi madregase, madregas habeinini, as a beinini. Says the Alter Rebbe powerfully. I remember when we were in yeshiva, Mashpia spoke about this. It left such an impact. The Alter Rebbe is like putting his neck out. And the Alter Rebbe in Sefer Shal Beinanim, the Alter Rebbe says, when I view a Beinani, I bestow the title Emes to his Avodah.
Wow.
The Hareini Koire, and I call the Avosam Shavit Filosam, I call their Avos Hashem Gamkein Svas Emes Tikin La'ad. It's also everlasting. Don't say that it's a sheker. No, it's emes. Why? Hoyil sin subekoyach nafshem olikis. They have the power. Lachzer la'orer bechinas avazu la'olam. They can always access. They can always tap in. And by the way, the word la'olam means not only during davening. They have the formula. You know, I remember in yeshiva such a strange thing. You know, one of the mashpiyim told the bacher, Shabbos, the bacher wasn't feeling well. And every Shabbos he used to daven ba'avodah. So the bacher, he missed his day. So the mashpiyah said, Shabbos. Right? So at la'olam, and also, bizgabrusa b'shas atfila mida yom b'yom. Every single day, and in other words, every single day he does, and he has the capability. And how does it come to him? It's not a matana molmailo. It's not only because it's a eis rotzen, but it's your koiches. Ayidei hachana haruuya lechol nefesh kefi ergo madrigasa. You know what to do. You know how to prepare. You know how to line it up. Then it's emes. Kehine midas emesi midasa shel Yaakov. Hanikra briach hatichain. It's the middle bar. Hamavriach min hakotza al hakotza. Miroim amaylis madregas al seif kol dargin. It's in everywhere. And remember, the Alter Rebbe says kol dargin in Aramaic. In other words, it's a different quality. It's not even in Hebrew, but it's still emes. Everything in the world has its truth. Ubekol mailo madrega. Mavriach teich nekuda hoem tzoyis. Where is the truth? At the center. Shehi nekudas ubechinas midas emes shul. Midas emes inachla belim etzarim. There is no limit. There is no person that doesn't have emes. There's no person that doesn't have what really matters to him. Every person has a core. The ein lo shir. L'mayla adrei ma'maylis. There's no shir all to the highest level and to the lowest level. Says the Alter Rebbe. Yeah, you're right. Legabe tzadikim, what the Beinani does is sheker. But that's Legabe tzadikim. And that's what he's going to bring the next few lines. When we talk about Ishtalshalus, the highest malachim, their feet, Raglei HaChayos Keneged Kulam. So Legabe the malachim, the Chayos HaKodesh, everything else is nothing. So everything else doesn't exist. That's not how it works. Kol Mailas Madregas Shalamato. The truth is that the lower levels, Hem Ka'ayin. In other words, if we're looking at absolute truth, then we say, well, we're ayin, we're nothing. But that's not where emes is. So the Mailas Madregas Shalamato are Ka'ayin, Legabe Mailas Madregas Shalamayla Mehem. I remember once, when it doesn't matter what the setting was, but when I was a teenager, I bought a very expensive pair of headphones. And I was in the Ivy League, and one of the students, he said, I just bought some headphones, let me try your headphones. Anyway, he listened to my headphones, he's like, I just ruined my headphones. They'll never. I just ruined it. He spent $250 on a pair. It's just now that he heard this, it's not. It's junk. Like he can't.
Oh, wow.
It's just not going to live up to it. You know. It's like he just ruined it. A higher level is ka'ayin. What's lower is ka'ayin. It's like nothing. Those who learn Kabbalah, the lower madregas, yeah. Yeah. The Ifanim, they're even lower than the heels. And their ragle, madregas, when it says the 500 years from the earth to the first heaven, and the next rakia is tafkuf, and then ragle achai is connected kulam. It's like you just canceled out everything. Ragle achai is greater than everything. So here the Alter Rebbe is saying that the Beinanim, they have an emes. The Gabi Atzadik, it's nothing, but that doesn't take away. The Beinani, it's real emes avos Hashem.